it's hard, but you can't go around thinking of her 1,000 times when you think you see her face in the crowd. Now she's gone, no way of ever knowing. Don't cry for me, don't cry, is what she'd say. Don't cry for me, don't cry. No more shopping in the hall, only empty spaces. Brand new kitchens, black and white. I feel the house is dying, and I'm inside. Now she's gone, no way of ever knowing. Don't cry for me, don't cry, is what she'd say. Don't cry for me, don't Every time I think of you, I just break down. I miss you more than I ever could
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Tuesday. I hope you guys had a good weekend and that your week has started well as well. I'm just skipping an advert instantly, which is annoying. Right, so now you might be able to spot something, you might not be able to spot something about the setup today in the studio. And just, well, full disclosure, I've just jumped back in the seat because setting up, if we do have a fill jam later on, setting up my laptop, I did that earlier and, you know, plugged the wires in where they're supposed to go. And then I closed my laptop and I realized before we were just about to go live that, oh, I need my laptop. So I opened it and then it said battery low. It was only at 7%. I thought it had a lot more than that. So I had to run away, get the plug, come back here, sit back down and then say hello. So I did it within about 5 seconds of the end of the video, but we made it. So now the change, as some people can see, and Ruth has said it's changed to blue. So we're talking about the soundproofing foam behind me, or you know, just the thing that helps to kind of break up the sound waves a little bit. But what is interesting is how my camera shows the background as blue, and you guys can see that it used to be red and black, and now it's actually purple and black. Because I'll get everything up on screen as we normally do, so my patrons that make this all possible in the first place, because I wanted something that is going to tie in with everything. And the purple ones that I've ordered, it goes to show that I don't know what's going on with this camera, but how it shows colours differently. So it's supposed to be a purple kind of colour to go with the purple of the channel, but it does look blue. Oh, Diamond Girl 1234 says no, it's purple. So Cindy said looks purple to me. What I'm going to do is bring on screen, because I changed the colours over here to what I thought kind of matched, and it's definitely a blue over here. And I wouldn't say that this colour is like this colour, but I'm going to show up on screen the picture that I took on my phone. So this is the colour, or at least a more accurate representation of the colour in real life. And then we go back to the camera's interpretation of that colour, and it's different. I'm going to get that on again. So I mean, I can see a definite difference between what I would say that is purple and closer to the thing at the bottom of the screen, and I'd say, yeah, definitely that's purple, and now this is closer to what I'd consider blue at the top, corner there. And let me get the light scale up on screen. So I changed that to a similar colour as well, or at least this is how I'm seeing it. And so Ron says it's purple on mine. I'm in HDR, and purple in my opinion. So this is weird because Lisa said it looks blue. Right, well, we're going to have to get to the bottom of this, of whether some people are seeing it as blue and other people are seeing it as purple. I would like to see it as purple, but I see it as a blue colour. And Bang Bang Drummer says that it's blue as well. Royal Blue says Sue. And it's the close in is purple, but the actual background I see blue, like the clock and goal space. So yeah, Melody Rock says all matching blue, but then Angela says it's purple on my screen. So I guess what we can do, just as an experiment, is people can take a screenshot. If you know how to do a screenshot on your phone or on your computer, it would be interesting to see how other people are seeing the background, because for me it definitely matches the colours at the top and not the colours at the bottom, with the purple. Yeah, but it'll be interesting to see. So if you are a member of the Facebook supporters page, then you can go over there, upload some pictures, and then maybe we can have a look at them in the next live stream to see if people are seeing different colours. It would be interesting. So right, now let's get back to business, because we have to get to 305 likes for tonight in order to have Phil Jam number 296. Is that correct? Let's move over here. It is 296 is what we are aiming for. And the laptop has gone from red to now white on the battery indicator. So double thumbs up. We're good for later on if we do hit that target of 305. So let me get the likeometer up on screen, because we can see that we are at 188 likes so far. So if you could hit that thumbs up as you come through the door, that would be very much appreciated. So yeah, we might bust out the guitar a little bit later on. We have the vote going on, and that's between I Just Died in Your Arms, which has 52% of the vote so far, and then Hero, which was a bit of a follow on from the last live stream. I think it's kind of left over from there. So but I think it was requested over on Patreon as well. So yeah, between those two, and it is close at the moment, 51%. So yeah, every vote counts. Whichever one of those you want to hear my version of during the live stream, then you can click on that vote, and yeah, I'll play that particular cover video later on. Right, now I'm going to get the donations tab up on screen because, as I always say, you don't have to donate, just watching is great. For those people that can't resist donating, I think it's important that they know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the Super Chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal through the PayPal link, which you can find in the description below, but you don't have to donate, just watching. Yeah, it is very much appreciated, and maybe leaving a comment or a thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated as well. It really does help for things to get out there a little bit more. So now, the other thing about this camera, and because for me it's not displaying as it is in real life, there are no settings anywhere on the camera to change, only the light balance, which for me at the moment is a bit off as well. But there's nothing to be able to change the color of the camera. It doesn't have its own app or anything like that. So what I did find was, when I was trying to find any settings, because it does have a hand controller which is quite good, you can zoom in and zoom out, and there was an AI function which I've never paid any attention to, but I pressed it, and now I realise that what the AI does is centralise you in the screen, because sometimes I might be a little bit off to one side and off to the other side, and I don't really pay much attention to it, but at least now I can press that button and know that there's something that is keeping me in the middle of the screen. So there you go. That's something that I've learned from trying to adjust the colour of the picture, but there aren't any colour options anywhere, sadly. So, right, now I am going to be jumping into that Super Chat window because we had a few donations, or a couple of donations in there, and we'll be kicking off with Paul, who donated $5. Thank you for that, Paul. And the message is, looks like we are at 517,000 subscribers. Most excellent. Spike those likes, please. Catch up crew for me. Peace, love, and rock. Yeah, so thank you for that, Paul. Right, I'm just going to adjust my screens a little bit because the message gets cut off at the end, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, thank you for that. And, oh, now did I change this? I'm going to click on it, hoping that I changed it. And I did change it. So we are now at 517,000 subscribers. Thank you everyone for subscribing, and what I said earlier, just for watching the videos full stop. And it's actually just reminded me of a Troll Corner comment. So yeah, I'll have to maybe go into Troll Corner a little bit later on. It'll just be a quick one, but yeah, thank you guys for just getting involved with the channel throughout 2025 as well. So we're starting a new year, and we'll see what happens this year, and what gets requested, and which bands and artists we're looking at, because yeah, it's always a bit of a random collection of requests that we get through. And if you are wanting to request a future analysis video, make sure that you email that to requests@wingsofpegasus.com. And yeah, don't do it through the business email, because that's where obviously business stuff comes through. So yeah, to get it through to the right email address, that is very important. Right, let's get rid of this from the screen. And I wonder what's going on here. I think people were still cheering. So that's now that organised. And the news here in the UK on the weather front is that it snowed today. So that was, yeah, very Christmassy, a little bit late for Christmas, but still quite cool that we've had a little bit of snow. And we might have more snow in the next few days, potentially. Yeah, so I think the other night, was it last night or the night before, it got down to -7. So it's getting pretty chilly here in the UK. But luckily, we've got heating, and we can turn radiators on so that you're not really aware of how cold it is outside unless you open a window, or yeah, you look on your phone and realise that it's ridiculously cold. So, right. Yeah, thank you, Paul, for that donation. Elaine has donated $5 as well. Thank you for that. And the message is, try adjusting the tint on your camera, either tint or the blue tone. So I would if I could. but there's no way of doing that other than literally putting a filter in front of the camera, which will change all of the color of what we're looking at. So yeah, there are no color options with it, unfortunately. And the only thing that would be potentially possible would maybe to get some third-party software that can allow you then to dial in the colors of your camera, but I don't know whether that would clash. There is something in this software that allows you to do that, to color manage what you're looking at with the input, the camera. But what it says is any of these settings may place a huge amount of a huge amount of pressure or demand on your memory of your computer, and the program could crash at any time. So that's the warning that it gives you. And of course I clicked on it and guess what happened? The program crashed. So I thought, well, if I'm live streaming, that's not ideal that it can crash at any point, actually immediately. So I thought, well, we'll just deal with it. And I don't know whether there is third-party software on a Mac that can do that, but I'll have to look into it. So yeah, right. Now I can see that there has been a little bit of action over on PayPal, so I will quickly jump into there because Mitch Marie donated £2. Thank you for that. And the message is, hi Phil, if someone time travelled back to 50 years ago and the technology for auto-tune / pitch correction we have today was given to a major label executive, would it be used, or were vocalists just that good and wouldn't need it? So thank you for that. And well, the vocalists we already know from, I mean, the crazy thing is that like 50 years ago from now was what, 1976. So, we're almost, in another 5 years, 50 years ago, would be the 80s, which is a scary thought. So, if somebody went back 50 years, I think in the 70s, late 70s, things were starting to push towards more of a digital thing and sound, especially then getting into the 80s. So I'd say probably going back even further, like the 50s and the 60s, like 1950s, 1960s, the competition, the way that it ran, or your competition as an artist, was everybody else whose songs were being played on the radio. So it meant that you had to sound better than your competition, not only on the radio, but then in live performances as well, because it wasn't something where people can just download a song instantly. They might go to watch you and then they buy your album. So yeah, and radio airplay was a huge part of it. So this is why it was so cutthroat and so competitive, is that you had to be unique. There had to be something different about you, and you had to be good at what you did. And yeah, if you're just singing, if you're just singing other people's songs, just performing covers, then yeah, you had to be really good. If you had your own original material, then yeah, it was all about what that material was like and whether it was individual and unique. And you didn't have to be the greatest singer if you were a great lyricist, for example, a great songwriter as well. So yeah, I think that if somebody went back in time and said, oh look, I've got this technology that will conform your voice to A440, standard pitch equal temperament, I don't know, I think people would see it as a bit of a gimmick and they'd stick to what they knew. They knew that the best voices were getting them the best sales, so why take a risk on something that can potentially make them sound different to everybody else, maybe not in a good way. I mean, it's so prevalent now that it's so far gone that people are listening to auto-tune and pitch correction and they don't even realise it, because that's all that's been fed to the general public for the last 15, 20 years. So yeah, I think back then it would have stood out as something totally different. And that's what we had in 1998. It stood out with Cher. It stood out as something different and something that was a bit of a gimmick, but then Cher didn't use it in all of her songs and then use it in all future performances, using auto-tune live, for example. She still then sang songs naturally without any tuning. So the way that it's now moved towards everything being tuned, it's a bit, I don't know. I know that it's the most profitable move forward for the recording industry and the mainstream music industry, but it's just strange to think if you went back to 1998 and thought, this thing that Cher's done to her voice that's a bit of a gimmick, in the future that will be the industry standard for it to sound like a gimmick. Because you think, well, that's going to be a bit weird, and it is a bit weird just hearing these performances that are conforming and calibrated to A440 over and over and over and over again. So yeah, I mean, the fact that Cher did it for one song then moved away from it showed that even back then people were appreciative or understood the human voice, and they knew what they were listening to, and when they heard that they thought, oh, that sounded weird. But now it's happening all the time, and people aren't saying that sounds weird, because that's all they get. That's the only options they get to listen to with newly released albums and just songs in general, as tuning is an industry standard. So the difference between tuning back in the day of speeding up tape, slowing down tape, that wasn't the same as calibrating to A440, because producers were still using their ears to try and tune somebody's voice, and they weren't tuning the voice by having the voice, then selecting a part, dragging it up and creating a new audio file that now wasn't the original vocal. They were always working with the original vocal, but just speeding up the tape or slowing down the tape. So this is why, even with analog tuning back in the day, it was done, but it still contained the essence of that vocalist's performance. There wasn't a new audio file that's been created. It's exactly the same audio. It's just been sped up a bit or slowed down a bit. So back in the day, it's still a totally different thing to digital manipulation of pitch, because once you do that, and now with Melodyne, you can get into such detail of editing a vocal. Once you're finished with it, that is your finished new audio file. The previous vocal has been lost. So unless you remove Melodyne from your plugin list, or you just turn it off, the only way you're going to hear that original vocal is if you've got access to the original project. And I have had messages in the past where people say, can you unpitch correct the vocal so that we can hear what the vocal actually sounded like? And there's no way to do that, because the original vocal isn't there anymore. It ceases to exist as soon as you start editing the pitch. It's creating a new audio file. It's a destructive process. Once you do it, that's it. It's done. The original vocal is lost forever. And that's why on the recent video where we're looking at Randy Meisner, that's why knowing that vocal has been lost forever, for me, that's quite a serious thing. I think that if they are going to tune a vocal and then release it, they should at least have the original version still hosted on the page, rather than thinking, oh, let's do away with that, throw it away forever, and the only thing people will listen to now is a vocal that didn't exist. Just sounds a bit crazy to me, and it is a bit crazy. But anyway, that's just the world we live in. But thank you for that, Mitch Marie. Now, I'm just going to have a quick look into the Super Chat window, because Jennifer's donated $5. Thank you for that. And the message is, Phil, have read that certain brands of guitars are very heavy. How do pickers keep from, and now this lycometer's in the way, how do pickers keep from having back problems besides going to a different brand? Does that say? Yes, it does. It's just cutting off the end of that message. So, well, when you are, I don't know, when you are choosing your guitar, there might be a particular kind of guitar that you want, I think it's just about posture, really, and something that I haven't struggled with, thankfully. But I guess because I've got a background in personal training and exercising and knowing about the human body, and keeping posture and correct posture when you're working out and all these different things to reduce injuries and stress on joints and all that kind of stuff. When playing the guitar, you are carrying a weight at the front of you, and there might be some guitars, and obviously there are, depending on how big the body of the guitar is, and playing a Strat as I've done live, and even the Geo that I have, they're not heavy guitars, so they're not too bad. But even still, I've played with other players who, after maybe 2 or 3 hours of rehearsing, they've kind of had to do stretches, or they get backache and they can only do it for a certain amount of time because then they have to have a rest. But I never fell into that category. I always felt like it wasn't, I guess, if you want to be able to play guitar for a long time and you might have a heavy guitar, then just hit the gym. And if you can condition your body to do squats with a bar on your back, then a guitar's going to be nothing, because there's no way that there's going to be a guitar that is going to weigh 20 or 30 kilos, and then you're squatting that weight up and down continually. Maybe that was part of it, because I've always worked out. Then my body's kind of conditioned to not really worry about something that's quite light compared to the weights that you might be doing in the gym. So but if you're not conditioned in that way, then playing for multiple hours every day, it might take a toll on you. But just watch your posture, make sure that you're keeping your back straight and not arching over. And I guess for me as well, I don't have the guitar very low. It's always at a kind of comfortable height. So pretty much the same as when I'm just practicing and I've got it on my lap. So that's how I adjust my strap to be that height. So I think maybe that helps with keeping it in a comfortable position. If it's really low down and it's heavy, it means that you will have to bend over. You have to bend your back in order to play. And it might look cool, but it means that, I don't know, maybe after 10 years of doing that live, you might start to have back problems, because you are always bending over playing guitar. And if you're doing that for multiple hours a day, it's exactly the same as lifting a weight with incorrect technique for multiple hours a day. Your lower back is going to say, no, I don't like that, and it's going to let you know about it. So I'd say obviously some people might sacrifice their backs for image of wanting to kind of look cool, or what they perceive as looking cool. But I always go on the on that side of whatever I can do to elongate my playing career and just being able to stand up straight and not having any pain, then I'll do that. Because you don't want something that's going to be debilitating and potentially always be there, just because I don't think really it's worth it. Some people might think that looking cool for 5 or 10 years is worth then 30 or 40 years of pain, but not for me. I think it's more about the music, and if it's about looking cool, then that's somebody's choice, but everybody's different. Right. But thank you for that donation. Now, I'm going to have to get rid of the likeometer again in order to see where we are with that, because it's still under the stream settings, the likes number, and we are at 271 likes. So if you could hit that thumbs up, that would be very much appreciated. And it means that, we've still got the New Year's Eve thumbs up fireworks thing going on. So that's a bonus. Let me see if the single thumbs up still works. Yes, it does. So if you could hit the thumbs up as just demonstrated and demonstrated again. It takes about 5 years to arrive, but if you could hit the thumbs up, it would be very much appreciated, because we don't have far to go now. It's only going to be, 28 more people. maybe. So yeah, and now it's, oh no, that's 25 more people. So that's the maths done for tonight, and I might have been right the first time off there. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that. It'd be good to bust out the guitar at the end of the live stream, which would mean that we've had, I think, a fill jam in each of the live streams so far this year, 2026, and also on the New Year's Eve live stream, I think we had one. So we're doing quite well. Right, now I can see I Just Died in Your Arms is still in the lead, 52% of the vote. So if you want to hear that particular cover video for tonight, you can click on that. Or if you want to hear Hero from the Spider-Man movie, then you can click on that one. Now, I'm going to jump into the PayPal window again, because Angela's popped in there with a £14.15 donation. So thank you for that. And the message is, here is some feed money for Pegasus. Heard he's hungry. So thank you for that. And I haven't heard anything about a hungry Pegasus, but thank you for that anyway. Right, now I'm just having a little look into the live chat room to see. Dummy Girl 1234 says correct. So maybe that was referring to my mathematical calculations a little bit earlier on. Yeah, so I've had a few messages which I might put in, or at least I might answer those messages in a video. I don't know, maybe this week, about what happened at the end of last year, which was the thing that I couldn't talk about for months. And I was on national TV on Channel 5 on New Year's Eve. So there's a special show, kind of documentary show, that was looking at unseen footage, and I was asked to, I can't remember when that was. Maybe it was October, maybe a bit earlier than that. But yeah, I went into London and recorded some bits for this show where they're just asking me different things about. Karen Carpenter is the artist that they wanted me to talk about. And yeah, it's interesting because it's the first time that I've done anything in that kind of realm. Doing something for a documentary on national TV is quite cool. And there were lots of other well-known people that were adding to the conversation as well. So it's great that obviously people watch the channel enough to know what I do, and then for me to be asked to talk about artists when there's lots of other people who are very, very well qualified to talk about such things, and for me to be in amongst that kind of community is very flattering, and I was very happy and honoured to be asked along just to say a few things about Karen Carpenter's voice, and the fact that they'd seen the analysis video, at least the production team and the people that were making the show had seen my channel and seen me talk about Karen Carpenter and the analysis videos that I'd done, so wanted me to go along just to add a little bit from that side of things when we're talking about vocal accuracy and singing live. And it was just kind of tiny segments. You might have watched these types of shows before, but they might have somebody doing a voiceover for the show talking about the artists' careers, where they started, where they went, how many sales they got, and different performances that have been unseen by UK audiences. So they then showed a bit of a performance, then you have somebody saying something about them, and it just kind of chops between those two things. And the New Year's Eve show was 1 hour and 38 minutes long. And on catch up, unfortunately, the only version isn't the New Year's Eve version, it's the cut down 1 hour version, which consists of just the unseen footage, a voiceover, and just a couple of vocal kind of excerpts, people saying a few things about the performances, and all of everybody else. I mean, there were loads of people that were talking on this particular documentary, all of those other people, including myself, are then cut out for this minimalistic version, for the on-demand. I didn't know that happened, but for the on-demand community and those people in the catch-up crew, as I say, on the live streams, it means that they're not seeing the actual show with all of the, what would you call it, testimonies? I don't know whether that's right, but all of the input from the industry professionals talking about, because I find it really interesting to know what other people have to say about particular performances. And it means that there was, including me, loads of other people that aren't in that catch-up version, but it's 38 minutes worth of other content that they've cut out. So it means that there's 38 minutes worth of other people talking, including myself, but it's a very brief period that I was talking for, because it was on ABBA and Dolly Parton as well. So those were the three that were focused on, as well as Karen Carpenter, which is the section that I was in. So there were loads of people talking about experts on ABBA and Dolly Parton and Karen Carpenter. So loads of great information in there, but that's all being cut out for the catch-up version. So this is the problem, that I could link people to the catch-up place. You can go on like Channel 5, have that if you just want to watch the documentary, but unfortunately the talking parts have been cut out of that. But what I have managed to do, and it's kind of the best that I can do, is just take a picture on my phone of the actual New Year's Eve show, because I did record that. I just happened to see that it was on, and I thought, oh, hang on, that's the thing that I was involved with. So I recorded it and then watched it back, and that's the 1 hour 38 minutes version. But there's no way, and trust me, I've tried, there's no way to get that recording from the Skybox that I've recorded it on to anything else, because even when I get the app to watch Sky Go, as it's called, you can watch that on a computer, but you can't have anything else running, because if you run anything else, it instantly stops and says software has been detected on your device that might be capable of capturing screen data, or capturing the screen, which is then again against copyright law. So it means that is something that instantly happens. So even just trying to take a screenshot of your screen, what happens is it doesn't show the picture. It just shows you everything but what you're actually watching. So if I had it going here, and say I've just got my desktop in the background and I took a picture, the actual Sky Go app will be invisible. You'll just see your desktop. So I've tried everything that I can, and the reason that I want to try and capture it is not to then go and distribute it illegally, because all I'm doing is just recording me. It's me talking. So it's a bit of a shame, but I've kind of done the best I can and just got some imagery from it, and there's no sound. So if anything, if the full New Year's Eve version does pop up anywhere, then obviously I'll let you guys know if it's something that we can link to online, but it's not on the official Channel 5 YouTube channel either. So bit of a shame, but I'll do a video including kind of what I can, like I said, maybe this week. So there we have it, but at least I could talk about it, and people asking me, wanting to know what it was all about. It was just a documentary on those three bands / artists. Just over. And I didn't actually know when it was going to get released, but it was New Year's Eve. And like I said, honoured to be a part of that. So now let me see if I'm just going to remove this, because I think we were almost up to date. And it's Malteser who's donated $9.99. So thank you for that in the messages. I don't recall seeing grey face hair before. Eek, your hair looks sleek and brown still. So thank you for that. And this is unfortunately just a process that we all go through. I've got some kind of grey. Now, the longer I leave them, the greyer they look, because it's like you can have a little bit of grey here, and then when those grow a little bit longer, it means that they look double as grey, and then you know keep it going. And yeah, now I do have hairs that are going the same way, like especially at the back here, these ones that I don't know whether I call them grey or white, but yeah, if you saw my hair close up, you would see that they are dotted around, but because at the moment the majority of them are still the normal colour, the grey ones get hidden away. But with your face, you know, I haven't grown a beard in order to try and kind of hide anything. So yeah, this is it. You know, when, let me think, where are we? Yeah, so yeah, I'm I'm closer to 45 than I am to 40 now. So it's just a natural process that things are starting to look a little bit more festive for Christmas with Santa Claus. And I know that some people, and this, I don't understand how this works, but there's some people who grow their facial hair to a point so that they do have stubble, but then they colour the stubble. And I don't know how that works. I've got really sensitive skin, so it would probably totally ruin me if I were to try and do that. But does that mean, because you're having to shave, you would have to shave like, you know, if your facial hair grows normally, probably every day. Mine takes a bit longer because, yeah, it's I still don't even get these side bits properly. So my facial hair takes quite a long time to grow. But does it mean that when another bit grows, surely that's going to be a little bit grey, so then you have to do it again? Or maybe that people do it in the shower. So, yeah, I'm not sure kind of how it works. It just seems like a lot of work for just keeping your facial hair the same colour. But yeah, everyone's different. So anyway, yes, this is it. It might make me look I guess maybe a bit more official for my channel, because sometimes I get people saying, oh, what would you know about music? You know, you've hardly been around at all. Whereas if I start to get a little bit older looking, then people might think, oh, well, he's been around for long enough that he might know a little bit about something. So anyway, yeah, thank you for that. And yeah, I don't know, I think everyone has, like Malteser says, I don't recall seeing grey face hair before. Eek. And I don't really have too much of a problem with getting older or having, you know, hairs that are going grey, because I think that even to get to this point that I've been very lucky, because yeah, all you have to do is just look at the news for one day and you'll realise that there are a lot of people who haven't been lucky enough to make it, you know, even halfway to the amount of years that I've been here. And yeah, I'm every single grey hair means that you've been allowed another day or another year or another few years. So yeah, I'm very happy for that. So it's something that I think you can be proud of and happy for, the amount of time that we get here. And I think there are some people that almost resent getting old, whereas I see it as a bit of a privilege, really. Well, especially when you think back to or you look back to previous generations who might have been in their teenage years going to war, and you think, well, yeah, I've been pretty lucky with when I've been born and then allowing to get to the age that I am. And yeah, I'm kind of very happy with the hand that I've been dealt. So yeah, I don't mind a few grey hairs coming. We'll see what happens in the future, but it's just a natural process, and it's something that I think it's a lot healthier just to embrace it. I know that people that might be in the public eye and might have been known for their looks, it is something that is very difficult to deal with potentially, and then they might go down the surgery route and do that. But everyone's different. For me, I always think it's just better to, well, my personal belief is, from what I've seen, it's just better to just look after yourself if you can try to keep as healthy as possible, and yeah, everything else should look after itself. So anyway, Diamond Girl 1234 said, getting older has hurt my golf distance. And I'll tell you what's hurt my golf distance is not being able to play golf, not being able to hit the ball at all. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get back into it. But I think I'm hoping maybe later this year, but when I do get back just having a round of golf now and again, I'm never going to be, Bryson DeChambeau, but yeah, basically smacking it really, really far. And I mean, just when I see Bryson hitting the ball, it makes my arm ache just looking at him, because I think, wow, there's no way the amount of force going through those joints and through the tendons and ligaments that my arm will ever be able to do that. So yeah, I'm quite happy, just a really nice relaxed swing. And yeah, I'm not going to be driving it 300 yards or anything like that. I think just 240, 250 would be absolutely fantastic. Maybe with I was going to say with kind of the wind behind and downhill, and in really hot, dry weather, so that the ball just keeps bouncing on for ages, almost like it's going on tarmac. So yeah, that's what I'll be hoping for in the future. So I'm just hoping to get back to playing a little bit. And what I have seen is that the golf club that I am still a member of, but I'm just not going there, and thankfully they have allowed me to have a bit of a sabbatical, because they know that I'm injured and that I can't play. So paying for the membership every month, luckily they've said that just let us know when you're not injured anymore and you can play again. And I think there's another course that has opened up recently that is part of the same organization, so I will be able to go and play at that course as well. So if I was able to play golf, it would be great, because I could actually do two different courses, and they're both championship courses. So yeah, that would be fun to go and have a round at, maybe alternate, 1 week on one week on another. But yeah, I've just got to make sure that my arm gets back to just full fitness, and hopefully it will, fingers crossed, by the summertime. So anyway, yes, we will be moving into, let me see what the time is, maybe moving into tonight's cover video. And I haven't checked how long the backing track is for the Fill Jam, because let me see where we are with the lycometer. It says 337. I can see it. Let me get up on screen, and there is the confirmation. That means we are going to be having a Fill Jam at the end of tonight's live stream. So thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. It's very much appreciated. If you're watching this in the future on catch up, then you can still hit the thumbs up. It really does help the live streams to get out there and for the channel to grow on the whole. But it looks like I Just Died in Your Arms has pipped Hero to the post right at the end with 51% of the vote. So yeah, it looks like we're going to be cutting into the Cutting Crew Classic. That's something that my brain did a really good segue or link there without me even realizing it. So yeah, we're going to be cutting into the Cutting Crew Classic. I Just, in brackets, Died in Your Arms. I hope you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you after. Rock!
I just died in your arms tonight. The curtains are closed, the cat's in a cradle. Who'd have thought that a boy like me could come to this? Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight. Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been some kind of kiss. I should've walked away. I should've walked away. Is there any just cause for feeling like this? On the surface, I'm a name on the list. I try to be discreet, but then blow it again. I've lost and found is my final mistake. She's more than my proxy, no give or no take. 'Cause I've been real to fantasy one too many times. Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight. Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been some kind of kiss. I should've walked away. I should've walked away. It was a long, hard night. She made it easy, she made it feel right. But now it's over, the moment is gone. I follow my hands, not my head. I know I was wrong. I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight. Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been something you said. I just died in your arms tonight. Whoa, I just died in your arms tonight. Must have been some kind of kiss. I should've walked away. I should've walked away.
And there we have it. That was my version of I Just Died in Your Arms by Cutting Crew. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now we are going to be jumping into a picture corner, I believe. I'm just checking what we've got in there. Oh, yeah, I think it's just one picture in picture corner. I'm just going to double check that, but we'll jump in there anyway because of this picture that's been sent in is one of me anyway. So yeah, here we go. I'm going to be looking at me on my own live stream, but here we have it on screen, and this was sent in from Amy and says photo from Cager Photography of 2010 Unsigned Bands Battle. So thank you for that. And you might see there's a guy here that looks very much like Phil from Wings of Pegasus, and this was indeed Wings of Pegasus back in 2010, 16 years ago. So this was called the Surface Unsigned Festival, as you can just see in the background here, and we finished third in that, and it was a national competition, or I think it was the UK, so it meant that people in Scotland as well were all taking part in this humongous, effectively Battle of the Bands competition, and we were part of the London, I'm not sure what you call them, like they had different, there's a word that explains it, but my brain isn't giving it to me. So it's like you have different shows that you perform, and this went on for about 8 months, and the London shows. So yeah, we would travel into London, you then play a show, and the crowd then vote for, it's Battle of the Bands, so they vote for who's then going to go through. And when you started getting quite far, to the point where it was like the semi-finals, which, I mean, the final was in London, so that was at the O2 in London, so that was convenient for us because we didn't have to travel very far. But it's just disappeared, the picture. So let me try and get this back. No, that's the one that we looked at earlier. Here we go, the relevant one. So yeah, in like the semi-finals, that's where they had a judging panel, and they said who they wanted to go through. But finishing third, I think there were maybe 10,000 bands, something around that number, that entered. So finishing third was quite good, because I think that the hard rock thing and the Wings of Pegasus sound wasn't really that current for 2010. So the fact that, we were put through and by people who hopefully knew what they were talking about in terms of the live show, and of course it was fully live and unedited and not auto-tuned or post-pitch corrected, anything like that. You were being judged on your live performance as a band and your songs, and yeah, we managed to get third place, which was great. And then from that, then we just went on a mini tour of England, and I can't even remember where we went, but London was one of the dates, but it might have been Leeds as well. And we went on a tour bus. It was us and 2 other bands. The first, second, and third place bands or artists. I can get this off screen now. Let me get rid of that. So the first, second, and third place artists and bands, then they would go to do the tour. And that was part of effectively being on the podium. So yeah, we got to go on a tour bus and sleep on that overnight, and yeah, do a show or a few shows. And this is actually where, when you start playing night after night, I started to realise about how important it is to rest between, because it was all very exciting and fun being on a tour bus. You forget that, we've got to look after ourselves and not just eat rubbish all the time, and not be talking all day during the day. You've got to have vocal rest to make sure that you can do performances that continue on night after night. So yeah, that was a good experience to have, and that's what that picture's from, but a very long time ago now. So I think there has been another donation, so let's get rid of the likeometer and jump into this, because Kyrie Eleison has donated $2 and said, just sitting back and listening, great cover. So thank you for that. And on my laptop, something just set off the AI thing that was now taking in what I was saying to maybe do a search or something. Oh, I know what it was. It's saying Kyrie Eleison might have sounded like Siri or something. I didn't even know that was installed on my laptop, or that it's always listening to what I'm saying. That's a bit of a shame that they're taking in all of what I'm saying, a whole live stream. Anyway, I was turned itself off now. Great. Penguin Lee has just donated $49.99. So thank you for that. And that is a straight up donation. Right now, 3 minutes past midnight, we're going to be doing the Phil Jam, which I actually need to get this going to see how long it's going to be. But very quickly, let's jump into Troll Corner for the first time in 2026. See you guys in a second. Now, in this particular comment, somebody said, dude. Whenever somebody starts a comment with dude, I mean, I always fear for its content. So the message is, dude, stick to your music, not your Walmart auto-tune software analysis trying to get views. So, yeah. What is quite funny is that people like this totally don't understand what I do, and I've been doing it a very long time, and that, yeah, with the Channel 5 show, that there are professionals that watch this channel that think that what I'm saying is important enough and credible enough to then be featured as something for the nation, potentially, if how many people are watching it, to then listen to, for me talking about what I do and talking about a voice. So yeah, they obviously don't know that. But the other thing about saying using auto-tune software, or Walmart auto-tune software, I have replied to this and said that first of all, every video is requested, so I'm not trying to get views, it's just for that one person. And this has always been what my videos have been about. Somebody makes a request and I fulfill that request. I tell them what's going on in that performance, but then obviously lots of other people watch it as well, but it is really just for that one person. That's how the video started, with somebody asking me about a performance, and I then just pointed that out in a video, exactly what was going on. So the other side of it is saying Walmart auto-tune software is clear that they don't realize that having software that is available to everyone and not kind of locked behind a ridiculous paywall or something that, you need experience using a digital audio workstation, for example. You don't need experience to do that. You can cross-reference all of my results with something that everyone can get. So that is absolutely the best way of proving anything, is for everyone in the world to be able to get the same results. That's what science is. Just doing the same experiment with the same methodology over and over and over again, but you don't even need to have experience doing it. You can just take the song, isolate the vocals, run it through pitch monitoring software, and then you will see that what I'm presenting on screen is true. It is an objective fact. And that's why my videos are still up, because that's how easy it is to prove that what I'm saying is true, that it's not an opinion, and that I'm not making up, I'm not creating false data. It is absolutely true. So yeah, a huge part. I mean, it's not Walmart software. It's actually very detailed, and I did say to the person as well that they should test the software that I use to see how accurate it is, because it is absolutely accurate enough to be conclusive. It's actually even more conclusive now than it was, but in its first iteration it was already already conclusive enough. But because I then had the options to work with the designer who got in touch with me from Vocalaise to then start making my analysis videos even more detailed, then I said, yeah, why not? It's already conclusive, so why not make it as conclusive as it can be, so that everyone else can see just what the data is saying, that it's totally objective. But anyway, that was Troll Corner for today, and that was really, I think, just a troll who hasn't really watched the channel and also doesn't know about the software. Like, if they actually tested the software, they'd realise. And now, I clicked on the button and didn't want to speak over the outro, but yeah, we were getting out of Troll Corner because it really was just a bit of a troll comment. So now, Maltesers donated $9.99, says, how many chocolate orange did you get? 4, I think. 4, but they've all disappeared already. I don't know where they've gone. I've got a good idea where. Oh no, I've still got half of one left. So there you go, 3.5 of them have disappeared. But considering that was the 25th of December, I still think that's doing quite well, that 3.5 have disappeared over, what would be, 2 weeks? That's not going too mad with it, so yeah, that's fine. And the Turkish Delight, I'm about halfway through, because I always get Turkish Delight. Right, now we are 8 minutes past. I was going to look at how long the fill jam is. It's 6 minutes and 50 seconds, so I'm going to grab the guitar. and turn on this. Now the problem is I'm going to be listening to this through the laptop, so it's sometimes difficult to determine exactly what's going on with the backing track, because obviously I don't really get any bass coming through. It's all a bit tinny when I'm listening to it. So we will see what we can see here, and this is going to be Phil Jan number 296. And where's the controller to zoom out while I remember? There it is. And right, this is going to be enhanced Satriani /Vi backing track in A Lydian and C Lydian, and this is from Q Jam Tracks. So yeah, Satriani /Vi. Let's see what's going on with this. That's working, and okay, right. Can you hear this? Lost it there for a second. Oh, it just suddenly ended. There we had it. That was Enhanced Satriani / Vi backing track in A Lydian and C Lydian from Q Jam Tracks. So if you guys want to check that out, yeah, it's a bit annoying when there's a sudden kind of fade out ending. And the other thing was, because there were lots of changes going on, about, I don't know, a quarter of the way through that, I heard something, because I'm listening to it through a laptop, I heard something that sounded like it went somewhere else. So of course I went somewhere else playing with what I thought I heard. Then I realised, oh no, it didn't go where I thought it went, what it sounded like. So anyway, yeah. But that's what happens with live playing and hearing things on laptop speakers. But as long as it was okay for you guys and the levels are okay where you're hearing it, from, that's the most important thing. So thank you, Joe, for sending me the backing tracks, and thank you guys for hitting the thumbs up and ensuring that we had Phil Jam number 296 tonight. Right, now I'll tell you what, let me get the lycometer up on screen if we can, just to finish with, because we finished with 389 likes. So thank you, everyone. If you're watching this in the future, yeah, every single thumbs up really does help. But it's going to be time for me to call things to a close. So thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to be here with another video tomorrow night, and we're going to be live streaming again Saturday night, of course, 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. So have a great rest of your week, and as I always say, try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. And I will see you guys at tomorrow night's analysis video. I'll see you then. Rock!